Welcome back, my fellow darkness dwellers. Tonight we're taking another deep dive into the abyss of human fear. We're stepping into the chilling corridors of a place where time has no meaning, where the veil between life and death wears thin. Get ready to feel the goosebumps rise as we explore the hospital where time stands still. This crumbling monolith of medicine, abandoned and left to decay, holds within its walls whispers of unspeakable horrors, echoes of suffering, and the spectral presence of those who never truly left. If you're new here, darkness welcomes you. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a descent into the macabre. Now let's step inside if you dare. Imagine, if you will, a hospital. Not the sterile, brightly lit ones you see in daytime dramas. No, this is a place of shadows and silence. The air is thick with the smell of decay, dust motes dancing in the pale moonlight filtering through grimy windows. This is Mercy Hospital, or at least it used to be. Now it's a shell, a monument to forgotten suffering. Locals tell tales of a wing sealed off from the rest, a place where time itself seems to warp and twist. They say that if you stand outside the sealed doors, you can hear the faint murmur of voices, the echo of a scream that chills you to the bone. Some whisper of shadowy figures moving behind the frosted glass, figures that vanish when you blink. Legend has it that this wing was once home to the most critically ill, patients on the brink of death. But something happened, something dark and terrible. The details are lost to time, swallowed by the darkness that pervades this place. One night, a group of teenagers, fueled by bravado and cheap beer, decided to explore the abandoned hospital. They dared each other to enter the sealed wing, to spend 5 minutes inside, to capture proof of the horrors that lurked within. One by one, they chickened out until only two remained: Jake, the self-proclaimed leader, and Emily, the quiet girl with a thirst for the unknown. Armed with nothing but a flickering flashlight and their youthful arrogance, they approached the sealed doors. The air grew colder as they drew closer, a palpable chill that sent shivers down their spines. The silence was broken only by the sound of their own breathing and the frantic thumping of their hearts. With a deep breath, Jake pushed open the doors. The hinges groaned in protest, as if disturbed after decades of slumber. The flashlight beam danced across the dusty floor, revealing rusted medical equipment and overturned beds. The air was thick with the smell of decay and something else, something metallic and cloying. Emily swore she could hear the faint whisper of voices, but when she turned her head, there was nothing there. They ventured deeper into the wing, each step taking them further into the heart of the unknown. The silence was broken by the sudden clatter of something falling to the floor. Emily spun around, her heart pounding in her chest. "Jake, was that you?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Silence. "Jake?" she called out again, her voice echoing through the empty corridors. Suddenly the flashlight flickered and died, plunging them into absolute darkness. Emily's breath caught in her throat, her heart racing. She fumbled for her phone, her fingers trembling as she tried to turn on the flashlight. A cold hand clasped over her mouth, stifling her scream. A raspy voice whispered in her ear, "You shouldn't be here." Years ago, Mercy Hospital wasn't a decaying corpse of brick and mortar. It was a beacon of hope, a place where lives were saved and sometimes lost. Sarah, a young nurse fresh out of school, was eager to make a difference. She chose the night shift, drawn to its quiet intensity. Little did she know, a different kind of intensity awaited her. Her first few weeks were uneventful, filled with routine checks and the occasional late-night emergency. But then, the whispers began. Other nurses, seasoned veterans with tired eyes, spoke of strange occurrences on the third floor, the abandoned wing. They spoke of cold spots, flickering lights, and a feeling of being watched, even when alone. Sarah, a pragmatist, dismissed it as superstition, the byproduct of long nights and stressful work. But doubt, like a seed in fertile ground, began to take root in her mind. One night during her rounds, Sarah found herself drawn to the sealed doors of the abandoned wing. An inexplicable curiosity, a pull towards the unknown, overcame her. The air grew colder as she approached, a chill that seemed to seep into her bones. She could have sworn she heard the faint sound of a child crying, a mournful wail that sent shivers down her spine. Steeling her nerves, she pushed open the heavy doors, the rusty hinges groaning in protest. The air inside was stagnant, thick with dust and the lingering scent of disinfectant. The moonlight filtering through the grimy windows painted long, eerie shadows on the walls. Sarah took a tentative step inside, her footsteps echoing in the oppressive silence. As she walked deeper into the wing, the feeling of being watched intensified. She could feel eyes on her, cold and unseen, following her every move. The hair on the back of her neck stood on end. She reached a room at the end of the hallway, its door slightly ajar. A pale light emanated from within, casting flickering shadows on the hallway floor. Holding her breath, Sarah pushed the door open. The room was dimly lit, the source of the light a single flickering lamp on the bedside table. In the bed lay a figure, shrouded in shadows. Sarah approached cautiously, her heart pounding in her chest. As she drew closer, the figure turned its head, and Sarah gasped. The face staring back at her was gaunt, pale as death, with eyes that seemed to burn with an eerie inner light. The figure reached out a hand, its fingers long and skeletal. "Help me," it rasped, its voice a dry, rattling whisper. Sarah stumbled back, her heart racing. She turned and fled, the sound of her own screams echoing through the empty corridors. She didn't stop running until she reached the relative safety of the nurses' station, her chest heaving, her skin clammy with terror. From that day forward, Sarah refused to be alone on the night shift. The memory of that night, of the ghostly figure in the abandoned wing, haunted her dreams. She knew deep down that Mercy Hospital held secrets, dark and terrible secrets that were better left undisturbed. The legend of the vanishing patient is whispered in hushed tones by the hospital staff, a chilling tale passed down through generations of nurses and orderlies. It's a story that speaks to the heart of Mercy Hospital's darkness, a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. It began with a man, admitted for a rare and aggressive illness. He was alone, his face pale and drawn, his eyes reflecting a deep-seated fear. He occupied a room at the end of the hallway in the now infamous abandoned wing. Nurses described him as quiet, almost eerily so. He rarely spoke, his gaze distant and haunted. He would often stare out the window, his eyes fixed on something unseen, a look of longing and despair etched on his face. One night, during a particularly violent thunderstorm, the man vanished. His bed was empty, the sheets cold. The window stood wide open, rain lashing the room, but there was no sign of him. A frantic search ensued, but the patient was never found. Some speculated that he had wandered off in a delirious state, his mind ravaged by illness. Others whispered of something more sinister, something that defied rational explanation. They spoke of the man's fear, his constant whispers of shadows and unseen entities. They spoke of the strange occurrences that plagued his room, the flickering lights, the sudden drops in temperature. The legend grew with each retelling, fueled by fear and speculation. Some claimed to have seen the man, a spectral figure wandering the halls of the abandoned wing, his eyes searching, his voice a mournful whisper. Others reported feeling a cold presence in their rooms at night, a feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. The vanishing patient became a cautionary tale, a reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved. To this day, the room where he once lay remains sealed, untouched and undisturbed. It stands as a silent testament to the darkness that lingers within Mercy Hospital's walls, a chilling reminder that some things are better left forgotten. But the truth, as always, remains elusive, shrouded in shadow and speculation. Perhaps one day, the mystery of the vanishing patient will be solved. But until then, his story serves as a chilling reminder that some doors are best left unopened, some secrets better left buried. So there you have it, another glimpse into the darkness that resides in the forgotten corners of our world. The hospital where time stands still stands as a chilling reminder that some places hold on to their horrors, their tragedies echoing through time. If you enjoyed this journey into the abyss, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tales of terror. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a descent into the macabre. Until next time, my fellow darkness dwellers, sleep tight And beware the shadows, for you never know what lurks within them.